Hey guys, how you doing? It's Chris. Kind of excited to do this video actually. I'm going to give you guys a little story and a little testimony on this guy I met when I was into false, idiotic, new age type teachings. This guy's name is Stewart Swerdlow. He is as slick as they come with deceiving people and doing serious satanic divination on people under the guise of a clairvoyant expert and a healer, a chakra worker, and an expert on reptilian aliens and gray aliens and other aliens for that matter. This guy speaks with the authority. He fooled me, guys. Before I was born again, I was fooled by this demon. And you know, it's something I'll never forget. It was one heck of a learning lesson. And God put me through all this stuff to sharpen me down to a razor blade. Put me through the ringer. So I'm going to tell you about this guy so no one else gets scammed by this guy. I gave this guy over $2,000 to teach me to demonize me. He works just like a soothsayer, a fortune teller. You pay them, and then he hooks you through witchcraft that you have to go back. Luckily, the Lord came to me. The night after I left his... If you guys watch my testimony, when I used to astral project, there was a night that Jesus Christ dropped the veil and showed me the truth. And the day after I left this guy, I astral projected out of my body better than ever because he demonized me stronger. So I was able, and he doesn't even tell you, he doesn't even teach you to astral project. He tells you shouldn't do that. But that's like telling a kid not to stick their hand in a cookie jar, and he knows it. He definitely knows it. Because and he preaches another thing that's called hyperspace that doesn't even exist. He's got everyone fooled. He tells you don't go into the astral or the spirit. He calls it the astral. I call it the spirit now. But he tells you don't go into the astral, go into hyperspace. No one's ever gone into hyperspace, including him. It doesn't exist. It's a lie. No one's ever been there. And this guy makes a lot of money off this lie. But anyway, I gave this guy over $2,000. I went to his personal home. He has a very nice home. He makes a lot of money off robbing people day in, day out. It took me months to get an appointment with him. I was so interested in this astral projection because I was doing it before I even met him, just on my own powers of demons that I had in me. And he just captured me. I felt like he was telling the truth. He seemed like he knew how to explain what was going on with me. And it's a deception. So I made an appointment because I was so gung-ho on astral projecting so I could rob money in banks and so I could project into a bank and manifest in there and take the money and then pop back in the spirit and drop it in my house, and I would never have to worry about money again. And guys, if you don't think this could happen, I've asked many demons under torture if that's possible, and they've all said yes. Everyone has said yes, and they were under brutal torture. There are people in this world that are projecting everywhere. Witches, Satanists, leaving their body, going into buildings, looking at bids on a bid document so they know what to bid. They're having demons go and look at bids and come back and tell them. There are people that are above the powers you have, way above, spiritually. So I was gung-ho on robbing a bank because I figured I was like a god at this point. I was so... everything I do in life, I'm so dedicated to it that it did not take me long to learn how to astral project. Maybe 2 months I was doing it at will. And I went to this guy to really, so he could help me ask his advice how I could get this done, how I can project better and all this stuff. Now, when I got there to his house, and he lives in, I think he lives in Michigan, but I forget. He lives right on the border of, I believe, Michigan, but yeah, it is Michigan. So I go there. There's all beasts of Revelation statues on the outside of the house. Winged lions, winged dragons, all idols. Tons of idols at the fronts of the driveway, everything, all this junk. Then I ring the doorbell, I go in. There's idols all in the house, junk everywhere. All different types of New Age garbage in the house. I met him. I met his wife. I got an awful feeling from his wife. This was before I even knew of Christ or anything. While I was evil and she got near me, I felt heavier evil on her. Even more evil on her than him, actually. Which would kind of make sense why they're together, because he kind of seems like she might be the boss there, from what I gather. But either way, this guy supposedly had family members that were high up in government places, and supposedly that's real, which means he is connected somehow to the Satanists and all this junk, and I believe he definitely is. Yet when I went upstairs, I was there to ask him about the reptilian demons that I was seeing in the astral, which are just demons, they're not aliens, and the other beings I was seeing, because I was seeing things in the sky like drones, and if you think I'm nuts, I don't care. Because everywhere I went, there was a drone in the air. Literally a drone, a government drone, before I was born again. Not everywhere, but everywhere I went when I went to see this man, it was there. And guys, I was a mess at this point. So I went to see I'm in his house, and I'm there to talk to him about astral projecting and about aliens. Go figure. And because I was seeing them in the house, guys, so I believed in them. I didn't know about demons at this time. I thought they were aliens. And of course, they looked like serpents, like in the Bible, like reptilians. So I'm asking him about astral projecting and reptilians, and he keeps trying to tell me my fortune. And I didn't even know he could do that. He doesn't really advertise that. He doesn't really claim he knows your future. Yet when you see this man, he will do divination on you. Because it's in the Bible and it's satanic, and you're in big trouble if you go to see this man. So what he said to me is, he said, and he claims to know your past too, which is all, it's possible if he's got demon power that he knows your family lineage, and it's possible he knows your present too, but he doesn't know your future. Either way, when you listen to him, you're getting heavily demonized, you're trusting in man, and you're making him out to be higher than God, because you're going to him for this, which is a major sin, major. When he asked me if he wanted to tell me my future, he asked me for my birthday, my name, just like an astrologer, just like a tarot card, soothsaying Satanist. Under a guise of a specialist on mind control in the Illuminati and hyperspace. So he was smart enough to actually disguise himself as something else and do the same age-old routine that they did with the soothsaying, where the woman was there and they cast the demons out of her, and then she couldn't tell people's fortunes anymore, because she had no demon power. This guy's got demon power. Around his neck, he's got a Merkaba star, a satanic star, Star of David. Supposedly, my name meant like wings of God or Christ. It was like Alasan backwards or something. He wrote it backwards and did all this divination garbage. Then he speaks of twin flames, twin souls, typical New Age garbage. Now that I know, it's as clear as day. And I was swallowing it hook, line, and sinker, but none of it made any sense. It sounds like it makes sense, but then when you walk out of the house, you're just a confused mess. You're just a mess. Because you're too afraid to tell the teacher, the spiritual leader, I just don't get it. It's not all lining up. So you say, that makes sense, but then you walk out like a moron, because none of it makes sense. The only thing that makes sense is the truth of the Bible. So this guy, Stewart Swerdlow, kept trying to offer me food. Luckily, I was defensive enough at that point to not eat it, or I would have been in real big trouble. Because no doubt he's giving people food offered onto idols. And when I made this appointment with him, the first thing they asked me was what I like to eat, and it weirded me out. And just because of my shrewdness in like life, not of Christ, just what I've learned. Well, yes, it bore good fruit. It was of Christ. I just didn't know it was of Christ. But at the time, I just didn't accept the food. I told him I was fasting. Then he told me, and I lied, I wasn't fasting. And I think he might have known that, because he probably figured I didn't know him well enough to eat at his house. I would have if I were him. Thank God I didn't, guys. Then he told me not to fast. Fasting's no good for you. Okay, that's not of the Bible. Then he told me the Bible was written by a computer. Bam. Satanist. Knowingly or unknowingly, he serves Satan. He knows. He knows. What I mean is, knowingly or unknowingly, anyone who tells you that the Bible was written by a computer is going to hell. Third thing he told me was Jesus Christ is a consciousness. Just like Oprah teaches, just like Eckhart Tolle teaches, just like every New Age teacher on this earth teaches that he wasn't a man, he was a consciousness. And if he was a man, he's not a living God, he's now a consciousness. However they want to spin it off, it's all garbage. He's a living God. He's a man. He's a God that's alive with person-like qualities. He's God. And he made the Bible, and anybody that believes, Stewart Swerdlow made the Bible, and anybody that believes in the Bible seemed to be the biggest idiot, and sat there speaking with the authority of God that it wasn't Jesus Christ and Satan. And he believes Satan's like a consciousness too. He doesn't claim Satan's a real being. So he denies Jesus, he denies Satan. He claims the Illuminati's real, but denies the demonic powers and the satanic powers that backs them. He claims that aliens are real. He claims that chakra points are real. He claims that hollow earth and all this other junk, I believe, is real. Nibiru, that planets were blown up, the Anunnaki, all this crap. It's all fake. Then he tells me I used to be a Templar, a Knights Templar, and I came from a very powerful thing. Because a sorcerer and a divination soothsayer is going to boost your ego. They're going to appeal to you and break down your defenses so you want it. You need to want what they're saying. So they're going to start to puff you up. He was like, you lived with your brother in another life. You failed to save his life in the past, but in this life you'll save his life. And I got very emotional. And I saw how I was conned. Now that I have Christ, I see how I was conned. But that appealed to me that I could save my brother in this life. He knows that. He read me, this kid loves his brother, and he got me. So I swallowed all this junk hook, line, and sinker. None of it really made sense. It just made me more confused. So we pretty much went through all the New Age garbage. All of it. Everything you see on every angel page and satanic page. Then, before I left, he made sure he had to give me stuff. He was like, I want you to take this home. It's very important, especially for you. And it was, because it was the worst of the worst. And then he had these plastic cards with all these symbols on them. And he said, I want you to meditate these symbols into your head. Every one of them a satanic symbol. Yet this guy doesn't claim Satan. He claims he's just a clairvoyant. There is no Satan. But he gave me these cards. After all this garbage, I left his house. I felt important kind of after this and empowered, because he empowered me up with demon power through the fact that I was there. And that always happens when you go to a soothsayer. And I went in my car that night. I took those satanic symbols, put them in the cup holder. I didn't know they were satanic symbols at that time. I put them in the cup holder. I parked my car at a rest stop that night because I was too tired to drive all the way home, because I drove from Jersey to him in Michigan. So I parked my car that night, and that night I astral projected right out through the windshield, flew over the rest stop, like the dome-shaped rest stop. I saw the top of the rest stop. And then I'm flying around in the air in the astral, very powerfully this time. Better than usual, because I visited this idiot. And as I'm flying, all of a sudden I hear a snap, and then I see all the demons that are really there, not the false garbage that they show us, that you idiots who are astral projecting think is this the astral. No, that's all you're conned. A fallen angel can follow you and project into your head what you see and mimic the whole world. Mimic it. And there is a realm there is that realm there, but they could distort what you see, is what I'm trying to say. And when he dropped this veil, I saw there were demons, looked at them, wasn't afraid for some reason, because I was like, am I creating this? And then I realized I wasn't creating this. I tried to think about something else, and the demons were still there. I was not afraid, for you idiots that think that fear has something to do with what you see in the astral. It does not. You will see what the demons that are watching you and assigned to killing you want you to see. And nothing else of your own will you see. But anyway, I saw all these demons as thick as ants on an anthill. And then I popped and slungshot back into my body, and I was never able to astral project again. Now, I didn't know at this point what was going on. But by this point, Jesus Christ came to me. Jesus Christ came to me, and something didn't seem right about what I was doing. I knew I was doing wrong. But because I spent all this money to go see this clown, Swerdlow, $2,000 again, he's a ripoff, he's a thief, and it will destroy your life. Because I spent the money, I felt like, let me just meditate on these cards just to see what they do. So I take the cards out, and then all of a sudden, I get this urge, this uncontrollable urge, like I'm on autopilot, to go to Home Depot and build a pyramid in my house. And I felt like, this is my spirit leading me to do this. This is my spirit leading me to do this. But I was like, should I do this? Like, was that God that showed me those demons? What were they? I was kind of confused. And I I just did it anyway. I went to the store. I was pushed by a demon, by a powerful demon to do this. I built a pyramid in the house. I'm a contractor. It didn't take long to build a little copper pyramid, maybe 2 hours. I have all the tools. So I went and got the pipe. Copper's the best to use if you want the most demons because it's very conductive and they work on electrical power. I built the pyramid and I started taking these cards that he gave me and I started sticking them in the top of the pyramid, thinking I just invented that on my own. But not really, because the spirit led me to do that. I felt like I was just inventing it, but a demon that I was possessed and it led me to do that. So I stuck the cards in the top of the pyramid. And I was very good at meditating. Stop, Jax! I was very good at meditating, and I put a reclining chair in that pyramid. It was a massive pyramid, maybe, 8, 10 feet tall, or right up to the ceiling, 9 feet probably. I put a chair in there, and I meditated for maybe 3 hours. I was dedicated, guys. I put some satanic chanting on to make it better, to get more demons. And I put those cards in, and I got a demon for every card I stuck in there. And I felt them slamming into me. And when they came in, I would see them in my third eye, which was now not fully open, but almost all the way open. And they came slamming in. After that, I was able to read people's minds. I was able to guess numbers, get 1 out of 3 right from 1 to 50. I wasn't perfect yet. They wanted to trick me to get more demons. So after this, guys, I was able to read minds. I kept asking my fiance to sit down and guess a number, 1 to 50. She would sit down. I would get it wrong. She said, "You're not a psychic." I said, "I know I'm a psychic. I feel the power." I said, "Guess again." She'd guess. I'd get it right. I'd say, "Guess again." I'd get it wrong. Or pick again, I'd get it wrong. I asked her maybe 10 times. This went on for weeks. I was steadily at a 1/3 getting it right. I would call other people and guess numbers, steadily at a 1/3 getting it right. The odds were astronomical that I had a power in me, making people guess numbers like that and getting it right 1 out of 3 times. It was just too good of odds to be no good. So then I was like, at this point I didn't know that the astral projection was shut down by God stopping it right there and trying to pull me out of this stuff. So at this point I felt like I could fly out of my body and go wherever I want. I could read minds. I could do all this junk. I'm like God. I'm like God. Once I started thinking about like I was God, that I was God, demons tore me to pieces over and over again. And this was the point that I realized I had no power. I had no real power, and that I was deceived. That what happened in the over the rest stop was God. And I was like, God turned his back on me. I'm done. But then I started reading the Bible, and I don't know exact dates, guys. This was so confusing. But that was when I saw the Lamb in heaven one night after being tortured with all this. I don't want to go into another testimony. This is about Swerdlow and what a snake he is. Watch my testimony, guys. I'm going to stop right there. But back to this guy, Stewart Swerdlow. He's good friends with David Icke. His wife is evil incarnate, for sure. He's a Satanist. And they're idolaters and witches. And they tried very hard to get me to continue into this divination, but God pulled me out of it. And I ended up just praying against him. Not much, because I was so overwhelmed with finding God, I didn't have time to attack him with prayer yet, but I will. God will call me soon to get on my knees for 2 days to tear this guy to pieces unless he repents and puts a testimony up on the internet that he's a con artist. And I know he makes a lot of money, and if he wants to sue me for slandering him or something, trust me, I have the money to defend you. To defend myself. Trust me. And it will not come down. This video will not come down about you, Swerdlow. No matter how much, if you send me letters from a lawyer, you will get letters from a lawyer back. If you sue me for slander, I will sue you for what you did to me. Okay? So don't waste your time. And you know I'm not lying. So this is specifically designed to knock you out of business. And spiritually, I'm going to knock you out of business too. Because what you're doing is so ruthlessly evil. And I know you know what you're doing. And I know you're deceiving many because it took me so long to get an appointment with you. And I know you're full of it. So unless you want me to, and I know you sent witchcraft on me after I left you to try and draw me back. Because guys, you are so afraid when you get done with these New Age gurus teaching you that the Illuminati's shooting beams at you and that they have technology to kill you, and they make you so afraid, and then they do witchcraft on you and send demons on you, real demons, fallen angels. And you think the government's attacking you and that they know better, so you call back to them, and then you're like, I'm getting attacked, I need your help, I need your help, I need your help, please, I'll pay you 10 grand. If you could stop the attacks, I'll pay you 10 grand. Then you give them 10 grand, they call the demons back, you get better, and then 5 months later they send them back again to try and rob you again, so you call them again. Because when they show you that they could stop this stuff for you, then you feel like they're the truth when they're just a lie. And I don't have much more to say about them. There is no greater fear than following the Illuminati, believing that they're tied in with the government and that they're going to kill us all without the protection of Jesus Christ, and knowing that they are the kingdom of Satan and the only way to overcome them is Jesus Christ. You try and battle the Illuminati like a Daniel Estelin, a John Tucker, an Alex Jones, a Mark Dice, you're part of them. If those people I just mentioned are part of them, you can't battle these people without the protection of Jesus Christ. You can't go and expose Bohemian Grove unless Bohemian Grove has you demonized and they're using you knowingly or unknowingly. I believe it's knowingly with Jones, but I don't know. They're using him in one way or another to put fear into people, knowing that they have you so brainwashed that it will be so impossible for you to come deny yourself and come to the real God. They just don't care anymore. Because 1 in a million is with the real God today. It's so narrow, it's so much more narrow than what you guys think. It's not even funny. But it will be more. God will pour out his Spirit, and it's happening right now. And the torment people are going through proves it, because he's calling them out of this junk. He's calling them out of this New Age junk. So, that's it. That's it. Hopefully this saves people from this guy robbing them and demonizing them. Because the kind of demons you're going to get from the kind of symbols he's giving you are not pushovers. Demons that come into you through those cards will give you powers, people. And if you decide to use those powers in this world, expect for this world to be the last taste of life without fire and demons tearing you up. So, it's up to you. Anyone that says the Bible's written by a computer is a blaspheming, demoniac, child of the devil. In Jesus' name, have a good night.